Hello, my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial just for you. Well, this is sort of a tutorial, sort of a tips and tricks and hacks kind of video, because recently I had heard about how to crochet 2 rows of double crochets at the same time, and I gave it a whirl, and this was the result. Now, yes, it does indeed give you 2 rows at the same time. See, this was the first 2 rows, and then this was the second 2 rows. And yes, you are doing them at the same time. However, the edge, it works, but is it what we desire? Me, personally, I would say no. Now, I had watched several videos on how to do this technique, and yeah, they were clear, they were informative, but they even said themselves that after doing this, you would then need to do a border. Now, on the one hand, if you are crocheting 2 rows at the same time, yes, it's a great time saver, because instead of doing 2 actual rows or a row of treble crochet, it is linked. It's a great stitch, but what you're saving in time with getting all this done, you then end up spending time by doing a border or an edge around the entire piece. To me, that just seems counterproductive. So, with some fiddling and finagling, I did figure out how to fix the edge. Now, I used the exact same technique, but with a little bit of tweaking. So it's technique tweaking. And as you can see, the edge is a lot straighter. So there's that one, and then there's this one. And yes, it's all connected. I use the same strand of yarn. So as you can see, the edges are a lot straighter. So that is what I'm going to show you how to do today, so that you can maximize this technique to its fullest potential by doing 2 rows at the same time and having a nice clean edge so that you don't have to then go in and do a border afterwards. So that's what we're going to do today. Now, for this piece, this was Red Heart Super Saver, no, not sponsored, and I used a size I 5.5mm crochet hook. You can use, of course, whatever works best for you as far as the gauge with the weight of yarn that you're using. Okay, so with that being said, let's get started. Alrighty, so of course we're going to start with our slip knot, and going to do a base of 10 just to give you guys a good idea. So I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then in one of the tutorials I saw, it was add an additional 5 or 6, depending upon which video you watch. So I'm going to add 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because that's going to incorporate the height of the 2 rows. Now, this is essentially the same thing as the video that I had seen prior, but it's the second row, the second, third, fourth, etc. That's really where the difference comes into play. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start by yarning over and going into the third chain from the hook, insert the hook, yarn over, and we're not pulling through, we're just yarning over, okay, and then skipping the next 2 chains, and then going into that third chain and pulling up a loop. So you've got 5 loops on your hook. I'm going to do that again because it's a little bit weird, it's a little bit fiddly, I understand. So going to do this again, yarning over, going into the third loop, the third chain, yarning over again, holding that so it doesn't go anywhere, skip the next 2 chains going into the third, and then pull up a loop. So yeah, you do have 5 loops on your hook. They look a little bit weird, but that is normal. Okay, so then you pull through 2 4 times. So pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. And this is your first set of crochets. Okay, so now you'll notice here you have a little diagonal bar. You don't want to go into that bar. You want to go into this loop right here. Okay, so again, we're going to yarn over and not into this bar, but into this bar right here, going in there, yarning over, and then going into the next chain. And then we have our 5 loops again. So again, pull through 2 4 times. So pull through 2, pull through 2, through 2, through 2. So you can see we already have the height going on here. All right, again, this right here is that diagonal bar. We need to go into this loop on the side there. So yarn over, and then not into this bar, into this bar on the side. Yarning over. You can hold that in place. Then going into the next chain, pulling up a loop. So we've got 5 once again. And then you pull through 4. Well, pull through 2 4 times. So pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. And then yarn over, and then skipping this little bar. We're not going to there, we're going into here. So yarning over, and then pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. And this is how we're going to do the rest of this first row. Now, like I said, the main difference is how we treat the next row and all of the rows thereafter. This is essentially the same thing as the videos that I had previously seen. And like I said, they were good, but it was just the way that the edge was handled. That was the only real problem that I personally had. And I didn't want it to be a problem for you guys, so I thought, how can I try to change this as best I can? And as always, don't go into this loop here, going into the loop on the actual post. Actually, wait, no, don't pulling up. Sorry. Yarning over and then through here. So through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2. And this is really great because it does create what appears to be 2 rows of doubles. And I love that. I think it's great. Especially if you need a project in a hurry, which, quite frankly, we often do, don't we? All right, and I've just got one more. And there we go. Through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2. All right, so that is the end of the first 2 rows for this tutorial. And it looks really nice, really polished so far. Alrighty. Alrighty, so for the second 2 rows, so to speak. Now, in previous examples, I had seen it was chaining up 5 or chaining up 6 from this point. Me, I chain up 4 because I don't want a lot of extra chains getting in my way. So this is how I do it. Again, if you know of a way that works better for you, I always say march to the beat of your own bongos, by all means. But this is how I'm going to show you how to do it. So we're going to chain up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then going to yarn over and going into the 3rd chain, insert the hook, yarn over. And now here is another difference. In other videos I've seen, they suggest going into this 1st chain. If you turn the work, you'll see it better. Going into this 1st chain. Me, nope, I go into the second chain because I have found that that sort of bowed edge is because you're creating too much on the edge here. And this acts as your first double crochet series. So we're going to go into the second one. So not the first one, into the second one. And pulling up a loop. So then we have 5 loops on our hook. So again, pull through 2 4 times. So through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2. And this is going to create our straight edge. Okay. Then again, yarn over, not going into this diagonal bar, but into the bar of the post. Yarn over, going into the next. We've got our 5 again. Through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2. And this is going to be the exact same thing for the rest of the row. Yarning over, going to the next stitch, pulling up that loop, and then going through 2 loops 4 times. Through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2. Yarn over, going into that bar, yarning over, going to the next stitch, through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2. So really the only difference is instead of going into this very first stitch, we're skipping that one and we're going into that second one. And then at the end of this row, that is another difference. So we're going to mosey along until we reach the end of the row, just doing the exact same thing. Yarning over, through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2, to the next one, through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2. And see, we've got this one here. Now, again, previously I'd seen that this would be the last one that we actually go into. But because we skipped one at the beginning, we're going to go into this last one. I mean, first I need to do this one, but through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2. All right, so now, so that we don't create a sort of a buckled edge, we need to go into this last one. So again, yarning over, going into that post, yarning over, and then what I like to do is I like to sort of hold that back there so that I can get into the top of this double crochet, into the top chain underneath those 2 loops, like so, right into that edge stitch here. Pulling up, through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2. And as you can see, we have a nice straight edge. This is not buckling in like this, and this side is not bulging out. And that creates a huge difference. And I'm going to show you how to do the next 2 rows as well, so that you get a really good idea as to what we're doing. And personally, I think this makes all the difference. All right, so let's do another set of 2 rows, shall we? All righty. All right, let's do another 2 rows. So chain up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then yarn over, going into the 3rd chain, yarning over again, holding that loop, turn the work, skipping this first stitch, going into the next one, pulling up a loop, and then going through 2 loops 4 times. Through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2, yarn over, going into that loop on the post, yarning over, going into the next stitch, through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2, yarn over, going into that post, yarning over, next stitch, pulling up a loop, through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2, yarning over, going into that post, yarning over, going into the next stitch, pulling up a loop, through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2. And once you get into the groove of this technique, it really does fly. And I really, really do like this. And I'm working on a blanket with this technique with Lion Brand ice cream, not sponsored. It's a thin weight of yarn. It's like a weight of 3. And so it does take a while to get very far because I'm using a size H crochet hook. So it takes some doing, especially since it's going to be a wide piece. All right, and see, I've got 2 left, technically speaking, because we're going to go into this edge one here. So let's do this one, and then we'll do the next one, and then that'll be another row done. Through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2. All right, and then let's hold this in the back. And yes, this last stitch can be a little bit fiddly, a little bit tricky, but the end result is so worth it. Okay, be sure to go underneath both loops and then pull up that loop, pull through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2. And that is another 2 rows done. Nice and straight and even. I love it. I hope you guys love it too, because I love it. And because I love spending time with you guys, let's do another set. Okay, all right. Okay, one more set because, hey, this is what I do. I love this stuff. Chaining up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarning over, going into the 3rd chain, yarning over again, turning the work, skipping that first stitch, going into the next one, and then we've got our 5 loops. So through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2, yarn over, going into the loop on the post, yarning over, going to the next stitch, and this is just as rhythmic and fluid as doing trebles, but the beauty of this is that it's connected, so it's not this big flippy floppy, open space where your fingers or toes could go through. No, it's nice and connected. I love it. I love it. I know. I'm gushing. I can't help it. All right, through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2. Yarning over, pulling up, through 2, through 2, through 2, through 2. Now, what you want to be aware of, though, is when you're working with a yarn that changes color, it will become a lot more pronounced, and I'm going to show you what I mean with the piece that I'm currently working on with the ice cream yarn, because it might not be what you're going for, or it might be what you're going for. It really depends on your taste and your personal preference, but it is definitely something to be aware of as far as how the color may work out for you. If you're using a solid color, you really don't notice any significant difference. All right, and then I've got this edge stitch. Don't forget your edge stitch. Otherwise, you're going to end up with the buckle again. All right, so yarning over, going into the post, yarning over, sort of hold it to the back there. All right, and then going underneath both loops of this edge stitch here, like so. And then pulling up a loop, pull through two, pull through two, pull through two, pull through two. I love it. I love it. All right. So as you can see, this works out really nicely. Now, to give you an idea, as far as another piece that I'm currently working on, this is Ice Cream by Lion Brand. And so you can see that for the two rows, you have, it's more of a block of color, as opposed to if it were just, one row of double crochets, you have two rows of double crochets, figuratively speaking, so it creates a bigger block of color, okay? So again, that may or may not be something that you're going for. And yep, got my straight edge. I'm loving it. Oh, it looks so much more polished. And I'm not by any means being dismissive of the other tutorials that I've seen, because if I hadn't watched them, then I wouldn't have known how to do this. But it's just a little bit more polished, and sometimes that makes the difference. And I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and that you give it a try, because, it's also, like I always say, it's always, about thinking outside of the box, and trying new things. And by trying something new, not only did I learn a great new technique, but also I learned how to improve it slightly. And that's what I always encourage you guys to do, and I hope you do as well. So with that being said, if you like this video, please give me a little thumbs up button down below, because I appreciate your appreciation. We're all in this together. And hit subscribe, because I do try to post videos as often as I can, whether it's crocheting or knitting or audiobook narration or my other YouTube channel, Fiber Spider Games. It's a lot of fun. And of course, my Etsy store. Links to everything will be in the description box down below. And listen, until next time, I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and above all, stay stitching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.